Is the second data set for analysis, the pre-post T independent data set. It's dealing with Fred, who wishes to determine whether children in regular education are hurt or helped academically by the inclusion of special education students in their classes. And we are going to be running an independent t-test. The variables here are whether or not the classroom is integrated, that is as in regular education students and special education students, and then a pre-test and post-test measure. You can go ahead and select t-test and go into independent samples. The variable that splits these groups is integrate, so you can add that into the grouping variable area, and then add in pre-test and post-test into the dependent variables. What we can see right away is that we have our t-values here for the pretest, and that the corresponding significance value for this t of 0.25 is not significant. For the post-test, the corresponding p-value of 0.02 is significant. However, JASP is indicating one issue with this. There's a potential violation in the equality of variances. That's Levine's test. So what we want to do is we want to go down to assumption checks here, and we want to select equality of variances. And we see that the post-test is violating Levine's equality of variances test because there's a significant result here. And we'll circle back to the reason for that in just a moment. First, we're going to select descriptives and descriptive plots. And this gives us the means, standard deviations, as well as the numbers within these groups, and it gives us a nice visual of the changes across these conditions. So it looked like in the integrated classroom, or between the pretest measures here, that the integrated classroom has a higher average on this pretest, but the difference between these isn't significant. In the post-test, the difference between these is significant, and we can go ahead and get those numbers here. In the non-integrated classrooms, there is a mean of 94.47, and in the integrated classrooms, the mean is 108.16. Now, if you don't want to calculate this yourself to understand the mean difference, you just click on location parameter, and then up here in the independent samples t-box, you're going to see the mean difference is negative 13.69. So there's a difference of a little over 13.5 points in this post-test measure. Now, to refer back to Levine's, if you're looking at the descriptives here, in the post-test, the number of students here is 25 in the integrated class. The number of students in the pretest is 15. When you have a large difference in the size of your samples, you're almost always going to get a violation of the equality of variances, because that test is really closely tied into the degrees of freedom, which is dependent on the number you have within your sample. So for now, we're going to go ahead and ignore this result, but keep in mind you could receive a question about equality of variances on the test. And this is everything that you need for this analysis.